I think it's pronounced crew 90.
What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90. Want to start this video off by wishing all my United States people happy 4th of July. That's right, it is the 4th of July here in the United States. I mean, it's technically July 4th everywhere in the world, but it's the 4th of July here. So, yeah, happy 4th of July to all of my United States viewers, to my viewers watching this from over the pond, specifically in England. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. We won. No hard feelings. So, anyways, today's video is going to be a vlog chronicle. I want to tell you guys a story of my first kiss. So, in order to do that, I got to take you back to kindergarten. That's right. Your boy's been macking on girls since I was 5 years old. Poor girls. Anyways, I went to private school for the majority of my life. I was in public school for a little bit, like in between there. But I started off going to St. Mary Magdalene's Catholic School, and that is the actual name of the school, St. Mary Magdalene's. I was there for voluntary preschool, regular preschool, and then kindergarten. I started making friends with this girl. Her name is Mary Chandler, and yes, that is her real name. And I am using her real name because I know that you can't find her on Facebook because her name is not Mary Chandler on Facebook. She's also not connected to me at all. We're not friends on Facebook, and she doesn't even live in the Central Florida area. So go ahead, do your best to try to find her, YouTubers, because you're not going to be able to, much like you found my friend Sexy Joe back in the day after I mentioned his real name. So anyways, her name is Mary Chandler, which I just realized I almost called her Mary Magdalene. Her name is Mary Chandler of Mary Magdalene. But anyways, I started making really good friends with her. We had a teddy bear picnic where everybody had to bring a stuffed animal, preferably a teddy bear, and then you paired up with people and did like square dancing and stuff. She was my square dance partner. So we were really sweet on each other. Start kindergarten off, and it turns out, unlike in preschool where you're all in like one classroom, kindergarten you're broken up into different classrooms. And each classroom is run by a different nun. We got put in the same classroom. So we had our nun. Let's call her Miss Chastity, Sister Chastity. So anyways, me and Mary Chandler, we start dating. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh, that's so sweet. What'd you guys do? Like wave at each other from across the playground? Like, no, we did a surprising lot. That's great grammar. We did a surprisingly large amount of stuff for kindergarten boyfriend girlfriends. We did actually hold hands on a regular basis. We held hands at lunch. We would always sit together, and one hand would be for eating, and one hand would be under the table holding hands. We had a movie night movie day every Friday after lunch. All of the grades would get together by classroom, so all of the kindergartners would be in one classroom, first graders in one classroom, etc. And then we'd watch a movie. Whose like classroom you were in rotated week by week, but it didn't matter. Once you were in the classroom, you could sit wherever you wanted. So her and I would always just sit together and hold hands throughout the whole movie. We'd pass notes to each other. I could barely spell, so most of my notes would just be like the letter I, a heart, and then the letter U, or something. It would be like, you are party, but I was trying to spell like you are pretty. But we passed notes. We bought each other's gifts. For her birthday, I dragged my mom to Walmart, and she wanted me to just get her like a Barbie, and I was like, no, can't get her something generic and random, because those were the words I was using at 5 years old. I was like, we have to get her something like actually unique to her. Mary Chandler had long blonde hair. I've always liked long hair on women. I don't know where that came from, but even back at 5 years old, like I recognized how beautiful Mary Chandler's hair was. It went all the way down, even in a ponytail. It would go all the way down to like the nape of her back. And she wore it in a ponytail most of the day, but she would wear it down sometimes. And anyways, I got her a pack of multicolored like scrunchies because she could use it for her ponytail. I was good. You got to put thought and effort into your gifts. You can't just get a gift. I knew that even at 5 years old. So anyways, Mary Chandler. Her and I were dating. It was great though. But this is a Catholic school, and we are 5 years old. There's no pairing off. The nuns were very good about making sure that people didn't pair off. I would say it was about maybe around December-ish when they finally got wise to the fact that we were holding hands at lunch. So they started separating us at lunch. We weren't allowed to sit with each other anymore. If we did try to sit with each other, they would be on us. We'd have to, be very careful, make sure our hands were up at all times. And no holding hands at lunch. Like, that was gone. We would hold hands on the playground under the slide. That was like just out of sight of the nuns. So that lasted probably, I'd say, until about mid-January. It was after Christmas break. Because I remember I got a really cool jacket for Christmas that year. I still remember it. And I remember wearing it under the slide, holding her hand. But eventually those nuns caught us. And then, like I said, we would hold hands at the movies. But that was like the three opportunities for us to hold hands. Two of them were caught. So we had one opportunity left. It was movies. And we started being really careful and not doing it every movie time because we didn't want that to get blown too. Good thing that worked in our favor was the nuns didn't seem to communicate with each other. Like the cafeteria nuns, the lunch monitors, whatever, they didn't seem to communicate with the playground nuns, who didn't communicate with our specific nun, Sister Chastity. So thankfully, like, as we would get busted here or there, we wouldn't get busted everywhere. So even when those two were down, our teacher still was apparently none the wiser. Miss Chastity did not know. So we would still occasionally get like a little creative. Like, she would ask for the bathroom pass to go to the bathroom, and I'd wait like 2 minutes, and then I would ask, and then we would just go out, and then we would hold hands in the hallway for like 30 seconds, and then she would go back in, and then I'd stay out for another like 2 minutes, and then just go back in. We got away with that stuff. I told you, we were really smart for 5 years old. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, you guys are dating. Like we were actually being very like sneaky, and it was all innocent, but like it wasn't very innocent. We were lying just to have physical contact. So anyways, everything was going great. Valentine's Day starts to roll around, right? I don't remember exactly what day Valentine's Day fell on. I'm sure I could have Googled that really fast. What was Valentine's Day? 1996. But I don't know off the top of my head. But all I know is about a week or so before Valentine's Day, I started asking her what she wanted for Valentine's Day. I wanted to get her something really good. So I thought she would say, like, this or that, like actual things that I could go to the store and buy. This girl, she looks at me and she says, I want you to kiss me. I started sweating, like really, like guys, I was shook. That was not what I expected from her. Not that there were, okay, now let me back this up. Not because I was scared to kiss a girl, okay? See, here's the thing. I've always been ahead of like my age groups that way. I've always been very far advanced when it comes to like the other sex, the other gender. Everybody's running around doing like cooties and stuff, the cootie shot. Please tell me that's not just like a regional thing, like that everybody knows about the cootie shot. You go up and you do circle, circle, dot, dot. Now I got my cootie shot. Circle, 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 square, square. No more cooties anywhere. Like, if this isn't something that's like is beyond Florida, I just probably look like a crazy person. But we would all run around giving each other cootie shots. I didn't give a care. What cootie shots? I didn't care about cootie shots. I wasn't shaking at the idea of kissing Mary Chandler. I was shaking at the idea of my knuckles getting wrapped again by the nuns, because anytime we would get caught doing something bad, the nuns would come by, and that was the sound that a ruler makes. But it's probably more, that's it. But every time that we would get in trouble, the nuns would make us put our hands out on the table like this, and then they would whack us on the back of the knuckles. Like, I still have bruises on some of my knuckles. Not bruises, scars. I was a bad kid, so I was getting whacked a lot. Anyways. Good Lord. I was scared at the idea of A, getting my knuckles wrapped, and B, getting caught, and having, if like say that I got caught in the classroom, say Miss Chastity took away, say Sister Chastity took away our ability to be around each other, that's it. Now we're out. There's no more opportunities to be together. So like I started sweating thinking this out. Like, I can't do it on the playground, can't do it at lunch. They're on to us. I don't want to get my knuckles wrapped. If I try to do it in the classroom and I get caught, there goes the last opportunity for us to really be around each other. So I start sweating it out. So I do what I figure is best. Whenever there's an issue you don't want to deal with, you just ignore it and eventually it goes away, right? So, procrastination. So I decide I'm just not gonna even. It's whatever. So the rest of the week goes by. It's fine or whatever. You know, nothing happens. Weekend, head back to school, and I guess I do remember this. So Valentine's Day must have been later in the week or something. But I remember it was like Monday or so, or maybe this was on the Friday before the weekend, and Valentine's Day was on Monday. I don't know, but either way, I was given warning. We're hanging out, everything's great. She hasn't mentioned the kiss again since that first time. So I'm thinking like, I'm good, I'm in the clear. I got away with it, everything's good. This is the first time I was ever manipulated by a female. We're at lunch, and Valentine's Day is like approaching. It's like the next day. I feel like Valentine's Day was on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and this was a Monday or a Tuesday. But it may have been on a Monday, and this was like the Friday before the weekend. Either way, she's like, so I was talking to Jeffrey, and for the record, Jeffrey is not his real name. I will not say his real name. Me and Jeffrey were not friends. Me and Jeffrey were not friends. We were mortal enemies. If 5-year-olds can have mortal enemies, we were each other's. Actually, no. He was my mortal enemy. I never did anything to Jeffrey. Jeffrey just didn't like me. Probably because I was good looking and had charm and charisma. I don't know. But, so she goes, I was talking to Jeffrey, and I'm like, you were talking to who now? So she's like, I was talking to Jeffrey, and he said that he's going to go ahead and give me my Valentine's Day kiss since I don't think you're going to. She flips her little hair. She's like, so I told him like that would be fine. So I'm like, Jeffrey ain't going to be kissing my girl. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm like, Mary Chandler, I am going to give you a Valentine's Day kiss. What do you even think that's a question? It's going to happen. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? She's like, well, we'll see. But he said if you don't give it to me by the end of the day on Valentine's Day, he'll give it to me after school gets out. So I'm like, here's the thing. I got picked up from school every day right when the school got out. But Mary Chandler and Jeffrey would go to aftercare, which was like in the cafeteria area. It was like in this section of the cafeteria. So I had no doubt he would do it because he wasn't on anybody's radar. And he would have the opportunity. It would just be like them and like a couple other people. The nuns would be doing whatever. So I started again, like, I'm sweating, I'm worried. Like, here we go. This is what happens when you ignore your problems. Like, this is life lesson. But I have learned it? No, I'm 31 and I'm still ignoring problems. But either way. So I start figuring out, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I put in a plan. I get it into my head. I get a plan in motion. So at the end of the school day, I go to my teacher. And I told her, I'm having trouble concentrating in my seat because the person that sits next to me, her name was Elizabeth. I threw her under the bus. This is totally made up too. Like, she was a great kid. But I was like, Elizabeth is always just bothering me. Can I please move seats? So Sister Chastity was like, you know, well, what can we move you to? There's not any empty seats. And I was like, I know. I figured I could pick a seat and we'll just swap places. And she was like, okay, well, where would you like to sit? Now, the way this classroom was lined up, the like chalkboard was on this wall and all the desks faced this way, but the teacher's desk was on this wall. So if you were in this section, if you were up near the front of the classroom, but to like the left of it, you were actually the farthest away from the desk. So you were the closest to the teacher when she was teaching, but the farthest away from the desk. Pertinent information. So I said, well, that seat directly behind Mary Chandler, that would be good because that would put me up right near the front of the class and I'd be near the chalkboard and I would be taking Jeffrey's seat. And I know Jeffrey and Elizabeth, they don't really, you know, get along that well, so it's very unlikely that Elizabeth would bother him because she would probably just want to leave him alone. Got Jeffrey away from Mary Chandler, and it wasn't even suspicious because I put myself up near the front of the class. Sister Chastity says that sounds great. She moves our little name cards. I am now sitting directly behind Mary Chandler. Jeffrey is now way the heck back there, away from Mary Chandler. So Valentine's Day, the very next day, we start class, and we all walk in. Jeffrey goes to his seat and then sees my name. And I come up, and I'm just, you're over there now, buddy. And I sit down right behind Mary Chandler. She's smiling at me, and I think she could tell something was up. So I'm like, hi, hi. So we go about the day. We go to lunch. I don't sit next to her, but I stand by her in line. I let her know that she's going to get her kiss. We go to the playground. We don't pair off under the slide, but we play together in visible sight of the playground nuns. So no knuckle rapping. We go back into the classroom. Okay, here we go. A little piece of information I haven't said yet. Every day, except for on Fridays, after lunch, we would have nap time. So we would go from lunch to the playground, from the playground to the classroom. We would, on our way into the classroom, grab what almost were like these yoga mats that we would roll out. And we would grab them and we would take them to our desk and we would lay them down under our desk and we would take a nap. I want to say it was like a 30-minute nap. Might have even been like an hour. I don't really remember. This was a while ago. We would take a nap under our desks on these yoga mats. Teacher woman, Sister Chastity, would be at her desk, which is all the way over there. Point is, I am now directly behind Mary Chandler. But if we're lying on the ground, I'm directly next to Mary Chandler. And in one of the farthest seats away from Sister Chastity. I'm trying so hard not to say her real name. Every time I go to say her name, it almost comes out. That's why I keep struggling to say Sister Chastity. Anyways, I'm now directly next to Mary Chandler on the ground with our little yoga mats, and as far away from Sister Chastity as I can be, pretty much. It's nap time. We get our little mats. We lay them down. Lights go off. So they turn the light off in the classroom and everything. I watch out the corner of my eye. I'm like this. See Sister Chastity go to her desk. She sits down. Out of sight. Desks between us. Nobody can see me. And I'm laying next to Mary Chandler. So I scooch my little yoga mat a little closer and a little closer until our yoga mats are touching. We start holding hands. We're cuddled up together. And then I do it. Boys and girls. I laid a kiss right on her lips. And your boy Johnny had his first kiss. 5 years old, nap time, kindergarten. About 30 feet away from a nun. So not only did I have my first kiss, but how many of y'all can say that your first kiss was while laying down with the girl, cuddled up with her, holding hands? So I like to say that's where the story ends, but the truth is, me and Mary Chandler broke up about 2 weeks later. Turns out that she went ahead and kissed Jeffrey anyways, not that day, but a couple days later. And he was apparently better than me, and so she decided she wanted to be with him. I like to think that I've improved at kissing since then. I've had, an additional 26 years of practice. So I'd like to think if I kissed someone and then they were to kiss Jeffrey now, they would, be blown away by my skills compared to Jeffrey, and they wouldn't just run away and leave me for him. I'd like to think that I've improved a little bit since then. But yeah, so that's the story of my first kiss, though. Your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90, got it on underneath the underneath the desk at nap time, kindergarten. So screw Jeffrey. But yeah, Mary Chandler actually reached out to me not that long ago, a couple years back. She found me on Facebook. That's how I know her name isn't Mary Chandler on Facebook, and she's not even in Orlando anymore. She's not even in Florida anymore. But everything seems to be going good with her. We caught up a little bit. But so yeah, that's the story of my first kiss. Hopefully it's a pretty good story. I'd like to think that it's better than the average story because, I did take an L at the end of it since ultimately Jeffrey stole my girl. So I'd like to at least think the story itself is good, so at least I can prop it up that way. But either way, story, my first kiss. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. As always, it's your boy Johnny, aka Crew 90. I'll catch you next time.